There were young people who were protesting for justice, for freedom, and for democracy. Any young protester in Nigeria today learned from you because you were the father of protest in Nigeria. Do something about it.
Hello, beloved. You're welcome back to our YouTube channel. I brought you an interesting video from Shehu, Sani, and he has a lot to say to Mr. President Bola Ahmed TINUBU on the day of democracy. I'm not going to talk much. I'm going to let you watch the video so that you hear. TINUBU, you are the father of all protests. Here's the video, guys.
To organize a serious mass resistance against the military. And the second time I can remember was when you were one of those whom Chief M.K.O. Abiola sent to talk to Abacha. And one incident that happened was that the security men tried to shove you away, and today you are the president of this country. Mr. President, you have a duty and a responsibility to succeed as a leader. As a leader who came from the trenches, from the tribes and generations of those who sacrificed their life in the defense of freedom. It is unfortunate that a whole like this, there are specific figures we have missed. We have missed the presence of Chief Gani Fawehimi. We have missed the presence of Dr. Beko Ransom Kuti. We have missed the presence of Alhaji Balarabe Musa. We have missed the presence of Dr. Bala Usman. We have missed the presence of Shima Obani. We have missed the presence of many who sacrificed their life in the defense of democracy. A day like this will not be complete without appreciating the role played by the likes of Colonel Abubakar Dangiwa Umar, the likes of Chief Abraham Adesanya, Alani Akao Boshorun, and the likes of Fred Eno. Mr. President, even though the governor of Kaduna State removed me from the seat, I will always remember that he was one of those who stood for us when we were in prison. He was among those who kept the torch of freedom alive while many of us languished in the cell. Mr. President, I would like to draw your attention to this fact and this truth. The national anthem cannot unite a nation. A national pledge cannot unite a nation. A constitution cannot unite a nation. A nation is united by the ideals of freedom. A nation is united by equity and by justice. Many younger generations of today have not and couldn't know the sacrifice we have made to restore democracy to this country. It is important that we bring to attention to those who were not here in those days of the struggle. This democracy was not a gift given to us by the military. It was not a lottery that we won. It was a product of struggle and sacrifice. There were people who were forced into exile, like the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, and the likes of Wole Soyinka. There were people who were sent to prison, like us. We're supposed to spend the first 15 years of our life in prison, but by the magnanimity of God, we were out. There were many who were dead. This democracy was a product of struggle. The Academic Staff Union of Nigeria made sacrifices. Nigerian media made sacrifices. The NUPENG, headed by the like of Frank Kokori, made sacrifices. The National Association of Nigerian Students made sacrifices. This democracy was a product of that struggle, was a product of that commitment, and was a product of that determination. Mr. President, you have a duty to succeed. If you succeed, you will share your glory because you came from the trenches, you came from that struggle, you come from that period of struggle. Mr. President, if you fail, they will say that those of you who fought for democracy have nothing new to offer to Nigeria. We will pray for you, and we believe that the reforms which you have taken, there is no doubt about it, you too have recognized the untold hardship and the suffering it has inflicted on millions of people. But we are expecting that at the end of the day, it will bear fruit, and people will rejoice and say that the sacrifices that they have made, the consequences of that reforms, was something that was worth all this trouble. Mr. President, thank you for the honor and the privilege, and do something about the Nigerian prisons, because they were the ones who hosted us in those days and in those dark days of the struggle. And on the last call, Mr. President, there are some people who are still in detention as a result of the NSAS protest. They were young people who were protesting for justice, for freedom, and for democracy. Any young protester in Nigeria today learn from you, because you were the father of protest in Nigeria. Do something about it. Give them the freedom. You taught us, you funded us to stand up and fight, so they are your children and your grandchildren. Give them the pardon. Thank you, and God bless.
So, guys, I believe you heard what Shehu Sani has to say. Honestly, for me, we need such people in our society. We need people that can actually stand up on their shit and actually say it, no matter how it's going to sound in your ear or how you're going to feel, but still say it at the end of the day. That is what this man actually did. He delivered justice. See, there is one thing for you to have courage to want change in a country, then another thing is for you to voice it out to the open for the entire government officials sitting there, for you to be able to speak your mind, how you feel, what you feel that is right and just at the same time. A lot of people will be like, he's just saying. If you know Shehu Sani, you know his history and background, you will know that this is just the tip of what is coming actually, because he has said more things that is even worse than this to presidents and all that, and he's a respecter of nobody and all that, because he understands the meaning of democracy, he understands the meaning of freedom, he understands the meaning of fight for your rights and all that. And for him to actually summon this issue of NSAS protests and all that, that a lot of people are still in jail as we speak, as the president, if he knew what is right, he should actually do something about it, because a lot of individuals are still in jail for the past 4 years. See, NSAS, we always remember when it's October 16 towards 20th and all that. We always remember, we post pictures on our socials and say this. Do you know that a lot of people went to prison because of that protest? And see, a lot of people just take it that when that time comes, celebrities come to pass, that this particular day will go down in the history of Nigeria. Some people are actually paying for it till today as we speak. It's not about you coming out to post on your socials and say, oh, October 20th, 2022 will be a day that I'll never forget and all that, if you were among those that were at the protest and all that. But one thing, why am I making this video? For this man to actually hit the nail on the head, because since those people went to jail, I feel like no government officials has actually come out to actually speak like this or tell Mr. President in public the honest truth and all that. And he's not just doing these things, because these are one of the people that when they were fighting for democracy from the military regime and all that, they also went to jail. He was to spend 15 years in jail. Do you know what 15 years is? To spend in jail. But by the grace of God, like he says, they didn't end up spending that total number of years, but they were released some years after and all that. And I will say that, see, these are men that actually have visions and know what change means in a society, in a community, in a nation, and in the world at large and all that. And he's urging Mr. President to do what is right, so that the fight that a lot of people put up for this democracy to stand today, for them not to be under military regime, it's actually, it's, he shouldn't be in vain. That is what he's saying. The heroes that he mentions, their names and all that. And one thing he always keep on reminding the president is that you're one of those people that fight your way from the trenches and to the top and all that. So you shouldn't even turn your back or put a blind eye or put up an ad to say that you don't really know what it means for the poor to suffer and all that. You're not born with silver spoon. You are a tout and all that. Mind my words and all that, please. I'm just saying it for content and all that. Please don't take it wrongly if you feel offense by this video I'm making. But this is somebody that is an agboro. Let me just use that word. It's somebody that has been on the street. He knows the struggles of people, boys, women, and all that, and what it means to live in the trenches, to come out from there. It's as if there is no hope for the hopeless, for those that don't have hope and all that. But somebody have this light, this burning fire, and say that I'm going to come out of these trenches and I'm going to be the president of Nigeria one day. And you actually accomplish your goal, and you're somebody that is the father of all protests and all that. You're the one that any little thing, you pack people to the street to actually protest, to make sure that that thing goes your way. So for those people to also protest for their rights and feel like, oh, they are tired of a lot of things that is happening in Nigeria right now. And this time we're talking about, it's about 4 years back. So just imagine, President Muhammad Buhari was actually doing his second tenure. I think that was like he was already 5 years in office when that protest took place, 5 years and some months when the protest took place in 2020. And then today we are here. Things are even worse than the way it was in 2020. But people are scared to actually go out to demonstrate and all that, because they don't know what could be their fate at the end of the day. A lot of people lost their life in the process. Some people are injured. Some people are going to be on wheelchair for the rest of their life. We don't actually look at that. We don't see it as sacrifices and all those things, because you're not into politics, or you're not that, you're not that. But these are the things that people did those years, 35, 40 years ago, that they actually count them as heroes. Every day, every year we celebrate Democracy Day. We actually celebrate those people, calling their names and all that for what they did. Some of them are still alive, and why some of them are gone to glory and all that. But why am I saying all these things? This is somebody that actually, he understands what it means and all that. And I feel like, honestly, Mr. President Bola Ahmed is just sitting there like emotionless and all that. Why am I saying this? Because see, you come from where people are actually crying, but it seems like you don't want to hear the cry of those people. You don't want to come to their aid at the end of the day, and you're even smiling to worsen matters and all that. So it means that you don't really feel these people's pain, or you understand those people's pain well enough. If you do that, if you do so, you won't even put a smile or an heart, or just act, feel remorse and all that, because you're there before. And please, those in jail, please, Mr. President, we're begging you to release these people, set them free and all that, so that they can actually live their life and all that. Nigeria is actually hard. It's a whole ball game right now as we speak. But I love it when leaders like this come out, even though he was impeached as a Senate. He was a Senate, he was impeached by Kaduna State governor and all that. But this man never give up to fight for the rights and for the people of Nigeria and all that. Please, we need leaders like this. If you're somebody like these persons, please don't hide at the shadows of others and hide behind closed doors. Just come out, be bold enough. If you have thousands of politicians like this are actually speaking their truth and actually hitting the nails on the head, like reminding Mr. President to actually do what is right, to make sure that Nigeria is safe and conducive enough for others to live in. I believe that we're going to be a great nation at the end of the day, because what is actually coming, it's way worse than where we are actually coming from, with the look of things, with the way a lot of things are going different, south, west, and all that. As you all know, labor decline, or the rumors when Mr. President said that they have settled in closed doors, yeah, and they will pass the bills and all that. They say they didn't agree on anything, and it begins to trouble me because why am I saying this? See, you don't understand what it means to actually live in Nigeria. You don't understand what it means to be in Nigeria self. Honestly, it's a whole new gain on its own for you to carry that Nigerian passport and say I'm in Nigeria. Outside Nigeria, for you to be able to hit your chest and say I'm in Nigeria and all that, they just see us as if we were one of the most corruptest country in the world, and it's so disturbing at the same time. They're seeing that our economic crisis is just going over the roof. It's another thing on its own and all that. But to pass bills, that one is not a good thing. But to renovate presidential villas, offices and all that for you and your wife, do you know how many trillion is going down? But to increase salaries for workers and all that, at the end of the day, you see that people are being sacked or they are forced to go on retirement at the end of the day because they cannot fulfill that. And since Labour say they will not also stand down until they see the end of this. So what is going to be the fate of a lot of people, Mr. President? Because it seems like democracy doesn't stand, but we keep on celebrating it each year. But a lot of people are being locked up for speaking their airing out their voices and all that, so that it could be heard and all that. You don't want people to do that, or you don't want people to see that the injustice you're actually doing to this nation, it's not nice. Do you know that during when Buhari was the president of Nigeria, TINUBU was the head of APC and all that. So he will not say that he does not have a say or a doing in the previous government that actually crashed before he took over, because all these things they are blaming it on previous presidents and all that. It was him that made my own worse. It was like, come on, own your shit and just do what is right. It's not easy. We are not saying that you're going to sweep the corruption or the hardship overnight under the rug. No. But there are ways you can actually trash these things and all that. Okay, since you remove fuel subsidy, do you know how many trillion, billions of dollars you people have made? Do you know how much fuel, from how much 150, one something, even less than 100 naira, it's selling for about 800 and something naira in a filling station right now, since the removal of fuel subsidy? All these things are well calculated and all that. At the end of the day, they just do these things to make sure that their pockets are fat, and that is it. You have actually fulfilled your dream in life, Mr. President. Please do something for those that are coming, so that our children don't come to suffer or inherit debts that they knew nothing about, please. Because to be in Nigeria is a tough job on its own. So please do something, Mr. President, so that a lot of citizens can actually breathe in peace and all that, whether within or outside Nigeria, because this thing is too tough. So I just don't know, but I just love his speech, and I love that leaders like this in our nation should be able to stand up and speak for the citizens, because that is what you are there to do. Even though this man, it's no longer a Senate, he doesn't matter. This is somebody that understood the assignment. Irrespective of anything, he's doing his best to make sure that he delivers his assignment. And that is what a true leader is. Forget about what you're going to benefit at the end of the day, but just do the right thing first. So that is just the video I decided to bring your way today. So guys, please, if you've not subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe, comment, like, share with family and friends so that you don't miss out on any of our content. Thank you very much for watching this video.